Is we live? Is we live? It seems like we're live. We got football on the TV from España. Let me know if you can see me from España. It's Sunday. Coffee with Frankie. Uh, Let me know if you guys can hear me in the chat. I know we got some guys in the chat. We got Arlen Abraham in the chat. We got Phil Adams over here. Uh, we got PC Salami. PC Salami is a member of the Inner Circle. That's the membership group you can join. And you get exclusive items. You get all the grades of the quarterbacks, the college quarterbacks, everything you would want, really. Commanders, we're keeping an eye over here on the second screen. The Commanders are playing the Dolphinians, and now it's 3-3. Interesting game. We probably want the Dolphins to win it. And we want Tua to play really well so they don't need a quarterback. And so forth and so on. Uh, Joe Mike is here. Frankie, the GM, is always working 24/7. Joe. Uh, okay, Phil says audio visual 100%. All right, we got the ESPN feed on top. We got the FSPN fake news on the bottom. We don't actually have a lot of fake news, to be honest with you. I only have a few items that we put into the fake ticker. But what are you going to do? It's a slow time. It's a slow time. Todd is here. Good morning to Todd. We should all give a salute to Todd, the farmer man. He takes care of all the animals and makes sure we all have delicious food to eat. The Chaos Man is here. He says, no bueno. Jeremy. Jeremy the Chaos Man. Joe Mike, first question of the day. Do you think the Jets are doing a soft tank? No. What I mean is that they realize the best way? No. I do not. I don't think teams intentionally tank. That's just not how things work in the world, Joe. The only thing that teams really do is they hold guys out with injury. Now, sometimes that happens. If a guy's injured, he has some minor injury that he can play with, they hold him out. That's really all they do. It is really, if you think about it, unfair. If they really thought, I really think they believed in Fields. I mean, that's the thing. They believed in Fields. They wanted to give him a shot, and look, it hasn't worked out. You know, we don't have to get conspiratorial about it, Joe. It's just one of those things. And we're probably going to go to Tyrod. By the end of the year, you know, we wanted to give Justin a fair shake. I think he's gotten more than a fair shake as we drink our coffee with Frankie. Justin Fields is basically a backup, and we've proven that out this year. We gave him his shot to be a starter in the league, and he failed. What are you going to do? We took our shot. It is a transition year. We took our shot to find a Renaissance QB, and it failed. Well, this is the way it goes. Joe the Jets G. Are the Jets actually interested in Kyler Murray? No. I mean, I don't think so. Why would they be? Kyler Murray stinks. Now, the media, which is like the Doomer Industrial Complex. So you see some things on the FSBN fake news down here about the Doomer Industrial Complex. There's tons of doomers out there, including Gary Myers and Country Club Connor Hughes and Zach Rosenblather and all these people. They work for the Doomer Industrial Complex. They know they got to come up with things that are going to scare the Jet fan and worry the Jet fan and all these things. So it's going to be lion season and all kinds of rumor and bullshit season. But the Jets, what I do know, the Jets should not be interested in Kyler Murray. No. There's no reason for that. First of all, his contract is terrible. So why would you want a gigantic, huge contract for a tiny little player who stinks? Like it'd be one thing if you say, "Can you sign Kyler Murray to a $8 million deal to come in?" Okay, you know, all right, that's not bad. Give him a shot. But that's not the deal. You have to first of all you have to trade for him unless he gets. I mean, I guess they could release him, but it's a big cap hit, dead cap hit. They could do it, but so if they release him, well, maybe you could get him on the cheap. I mean, if we're gonna pay, a couple $1 million, okay. But even then, I wouldn't because he's not good enough. He's just not good. There's no point in it. Meanwhile, there's a man playing right now on your television screen. Not the Tua man, the other one, the other Hawaiian, Marcus Mariota, that you could get for $10 million, free and clear, and let him, and he would actually come here, and he's actually pretty good. Now he's not, elite or anything, but if you're looking for a transition man, so I would say no to that one. James Thompson is here. Good to see James Thompson. I gotta say, James Thompson, you got a very generic name. James Thompson. Very generic. Could use a little spicing up. If I were you, I would work on your nicknames. Maybe James Thompson. If your name is James Thompson, you need a good nickname. J Dog, JT, J Tizzle. Something like that. You know what I'm saying? That's what we need for James Thompson. Nobody's going to remember anybody named James Thompson, but you remember Jay Tizzle. You see? You remember JT the T-Dog, or something like that. I mean, look at what Jeremy did. I mean, Jeremy's name is Jeremy. He said, that's not good enough. I need to be something else. Let's go with Jets Chaos. I gave him the chaos part, and he put it all together. He said, yeah, I need that. Because my name is Jeremy. Nobody's going to remember that. But they'll remember Jets Chaos. You see? BC Salami. Hi, Karate. He knows FSPN is the channel to be. FSPN, the most trusted name in sports. Not really. But. See? Jets Chaos is in North Carolina. He's checking up on Bill Belichick and the boys. Got another loss under the belt. Billy Belly, no bueno. NYC Sport 1233. Players who don't give it 100% get a reputation in the locker room. Yeah. You can't expect any professional really to dog it. I mean, some do sometimes, occasionally, but you can't tell a player. First of all, that's how you get hurt, is if you kind of dog it, But no, and players also have personal things that they're going for, personal records, their contract that they, numbers that they want to put up. Also just pride. Now, not every professional football player loves the game. Some of them are just have physical talents that just allow them to play, But many of them actually love football, and they would do it for free. Oops. My feed got broken. All right, good. So this is still on. Okay, good. We're still live. All right. So we're trying to keep an eye on the Spain game. The rain in Spain falls mainly on this game. And we got the Dolphins and the Commanders, 2 3-win teams. So somebody will have a fourth win by the end of today. So as the first quarter ends, then it's 3-3. So I would say we want the Dolphins to win this game, and we want Tua to play really well the rest of the year so that way they don't need a quarterback since we do. Jets Chaos, Joe Mike. Joe Mike really does not like Michael Clemens. He wants everybody to know that. Has not liked Michael Clemens all year. What is the comp pick for Clemens? Now, Jets Chaos, that it's a formula. So the answer is it depends. He's not going to get a big contract. He probably won't even qualify. He's going to get a $1 or $2 million contract. Maybe we get a 7th-round pick. But we're going to be spenders this offseason, I think. So and remember the comp pick doesn't come into play for this offseason until the following, so it'll be 28 or 27 or one of those. Won't be this year. And not to mention, we're probably going to be heavy spenders in free agency. Now, we're not going to be at the top of the market because we can't play in the top of the market, but we'll probably sign a bunch of mid-level dudes. So we probably won't get any comp picks at all. Phil says, ditch the beat. Yeah, I would agree with Phil Adams. I mean, if you see some of these people, I mean, Gary Myers is the latest one, and we got into it on X. I would encourage people to follow me on X if you want to see media dust-ups. But they prove themselves to be elitist douchebags every time. It's like, it's so funny. Now you got to keep it. You got to keep it civil. You can't be calling people names and things like that. You got to keep it very civil. That's the trick. It's a little trick from old Frankie. Don't call anybody. If you see some of the things I was getting into it with Gary Myers about, somebody else jumped in and said, "Oh, this is Gary Myers. He's a what did he say? He said he's a libtard from the New York Daily News." That's not what you want to be doing. Whether he's a libtard from the Daily News or not, I don't know, but you don't want to be calling people names. As soon as you start calling people names, you've lost the argument. But some people do that. I would recommend not doing it. It doesn't really win you any points. Now, interestingly, he didn't deny being a libtard. He denied working at the Daily News. He said, I haven't worked at the Daily News since 2018." He didn't say anything about being a libtard, though. Joe the Jet G. Jeremy Fowler was the one. Yeah, well, so what? Jeremy Fowler. Now, all these people have to fill their content quotas. They're going to put shit out. Now, as I've told you guys a million times, and Joe, I'm a little disappointed in you, my friend. These guys get paid to say things. Are we interested in Kyler? Well, for $1 million, we'd be interested. And these are the games that they play. You see, we're interested in everybody for the right price. And these are the games that they play. Now, Kyler Murray has an agent. And that agent is very, very interested in getting Kyler Murray to a situation that's good for Kyler Murray because it's apparently deteriorating in Arizona as Tua goes back to pass and finds a check down. So the agents feed the reporters information, and then the reporters say per source. How many times do we have to go over this, Joe? So it could be partially true. Do the Jets have interest? Well, maybe if he were free, maybe we'd bring him in. You know, maybe he got the Jets to say, yeah, at the right price, we'd be interested. The right price being veteran minimum. And then he can go and say, well, truthfully, the Jets are interested, quote unquote. So you got to be careful with these bums in the media. And that's why I get into scraps with them, because I fucking hate them. That's why. These people are all paid shills. When are you guys going to realize this? The weird thing is, like, Connor Hughes went on Green Bean's show. Maybe people have forgotten this. It was years ago. But Jeremy probably remembers. Connor Hughes went on Green Bean's show after getting into a, what do you want to call it? A tiff? A kerfluffle with Green Bean on Twitter. He actually went on Green Bean's show to kind of mend the fences because he didn't understand how popular Green Bean was, I guess. As Tua completes another pass. They're marching down the field on this Dan Quinn defense. And he told you exactly how it works. He said, yeah, the agents will send us cases of wine. They'll send us all sorts of things to put their people in the best possible light. And as long as it's not completely fabricated or complete bullshit or completely out of the realm of possibility or completely nonsense, we'll run with it. What's the point? I mean, it's true. As long as it's true and you can't get sued, basically, it's not libelous or, whatever. They'll put it out there. What do they care? They're getting cases of wine for free. Cases of alcohol, cases of whatever their favorite beverage of choice is. It's not illegal to do that. And if you know any agents, you know that they're the scumbags of the world, but they're also really good at their job and they put their clients in the best position. So of course the agent is like, well, the Jets, they don't have any. It looks at the roster and it's like, well, okay, Fields is failing. Tyrod's old. They're not going to go with that. Brady Cook is on the practice squad. They got nothing. The agent's looking at it and going, okay, here's a place I can put Kyler. Now, how can I get it out there that, the Jets are interested? Well, let me talk to Mr. Fowler. Yeah, and that's how it works. Ooh, there's a terrible pass. Come on, Tua. Let's go. Get your act together. Let's get some wins for the Dolphins so they screw up their draft pick. Let's go, buddy. That's just terrible. That's terrible. So that's how it works, Joe, and that's how it works, everybody. In case you forgot, and that comes from Country Club Connor. He admitted it. Yeah. There's no real reason to bring in Kyler. Harlan's correct here. Kyler's even worse than Fields. If you want someone worse than Fields, get a small, tiny version of Fields. He's like the tiny, tiny version of Justin Fields. And Fields should be on the team next year as a backup at least. Oh no. Tua's stumble bumming all over the place. You know who's playing pretty well is Jacob Martin, ex-Jet Jacob Martin. People forget about him. He plays pretty well for Dan Quinn on this defense, I think. But he just sacked Tua. Man, Tua has not looked good on these last 2 reps here, but Martin just came in unblocked. That's also not good. You got to block somebody. Mr. McDaniel. We're keeping an eye on the Dolphin Commanders game as well. We're rooting for the Dolphins, and now they're just going for a field goal. So they get it up and good. So 6-3. They had it right down near the goal line, and the Commander defense held strong, although it was really the Dolphins kind of screwing it up, honestly. But the Dolphinians take a 6-3 lead. Joe Mike always wants to know about the roster. Joe Mike is very consistent. He's a roster guy. I appreciate that. And the answer is it depends. Hate to tell you, Joe. Joe always wants to know things a little too far ahead in advance. We got to see who comes out. We got to see where we're picking. We got to see what happens. We don't know who's coming out. Everybody could go back, Joe. The only guy who's really almost guaranteed, and he could go back, but it's almost guaranteed he's going to come out, is Mendoza. Everybody else, very honestly and realistically, could go back. So we got to see who's available, where we're picking, and so forth and so on. Phil Adams says Thompson is a mighty fine name. I'm 50% Thompson. Yeah, but you look at your screen name, Phil. I mean, Phil Adams runs in the same problem. It's too common of a name. So what did you do? You solved the problem with a nickname. You said, "I'm Phil the Jet Adams." You see? That's the whole point. Sometimes you got to spice it up with a little Nicky name. You know? I could go with Sergeant Salami or Sunshine Salami. Yeah, Sunshine Salami would be good, I think. Nobody would put together Sunshine and Salami. So therefore, that makes for a good nickname. It's easily memorable. Sunshine Salami is unusual, and that's the key to a good nickname. It has to fit, and it has to be unusual enough to stick in the old mind. Frankie, what's your ideal situation for D-line and the linebacker personnel? I would say increase the quality of both. Um, Phil says yes. Country Club Connor was a pussycat that night. Well, he was making up with Green Bean. You know, he had pissed off Green Bean and all of Green Bean's supporters, and he kind of realized, oh shit, there's a lot of Green Bean supporters out there. I may not want to go to war with this man. And so he came on and was conciliatory and tried to be a nice guy. And then everybody in the chat, except me, if you notice, was like, this Connor Hughes isn't so bad. I was like, no, you guys are falling for it, you idiots. Everybody was just falling for this nice guy act. Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, so JoJo brings up what's been in the news, which is Mac Jones. Mac Jones is under contract for next year for the 49ers, so we'll have to trade them picks. That's not what we want to do. So that's why I keep saying a guy like Marcus Mariota. Mariota can do all the things Mac Jones can do, plus he can run, and he's a free agent. So all you need is money, and he would actually come here for the opportunity because it would be a starting opportunity for him. So Mac Jones, you got to trade for, therefore we're not getting him, in my opinion. JoJo says, no, Tiny Kyler. Tiny Kyler, hold me dancer. Yeah, we don't need Tiny Kyler running around here. I mean, he's hurt all the time also. He's bad. He has a giant contract, and he's hurt all the time. Oh, let's get him. No, thank you. And besides, you could just get a Marcus Mariota for $10 million, and he's yours. I mean, it's easy. Easy peasy. No draft picks required. And I think Mariota has a chance you could win with a Mariota in the right situation. Now, he's not going to lift up your team like some elite quarterback or something, but if you put him in the right situation, I mean, the real question is, do we take a quarterback? I'm going to reveal something to you. The real question is, do we take a quarterback high up in this draft? The answer is we don't know. But if you run a mock draft, as I did yesterday, where you don't take one, so let's say this offseason goes to we sign Mariota, Fields stays here, we have Brady Cook. All right, those are our three going into the draft. There's a nice pass by Mariota. And we say, all right, we're not interested. All the kids go back, or whatever. Whoever's in the draft, we can't get who we want in the first round, quarterback wise. So we're running with Mariota, Fields, Cook, and we say we're going to take a quarterback. We're going to take like a third tier quarterback in the draft in round 4 or 6 or something. Here's the type of people you could get according to this mock draft. Now, mock drafts are not. They're not reality, but this is the kind of thing you could do. In my mock draft, with us picking 5th, we got, there's a nice run here by Mr. Bill, Arvell Reese, LT Overton, Caden McDonald, Elijah Surratt, wide receiver, Tyreek Sapp, and then in the 4th round, I picked up Drew Aller as a flyer to take. And then we got Oscar Delp, the tight end. And then we got a safety out of Florida. And then we got backup offensive lineman and another safety. But imagine this defense with Arvell Reese, LT Overton, Caden McDonald, and Tyreek Sapp added to it. That's the sort of thing you could do if you don't want to take that QB high up there. Now, you don't have to take Drew Aller. You could take Josh Hoover or whoever. But that's the point. And then if you take Aller and if he doesn't work out, so what? Who cares? But that's the sort of thing you could do, and you could really, really, really you could really, really build up the roster. And I mean, with our defense, with the people that are coming back, plus those kids, plus a few choice free agents, I think we could do something with that. And then I also in this draft, I added Elijah Surratt to our wide receiver room. I mean, I think, you put Mariota. Now we would then need some free agent guards and things of that nature, and maybe a center or whatever. But, you put Mariota on that team, assuming we sign Breece Hall. I'm going to assume we go ahead and sign Breece Hall. You could probably win with it. And then in 27, there could be 1 million of these guys coming out instead of just 1 or 2 or 3 that you want in the top of the first round. And then, of course, we probably wouldn't be in the top of the first round. But then again, we have 3 first-round picks in 27. Who knows where those are going to end up? And if you needed to trade up, you certainly could. To get, let's say Mariota plays well, but you really want some stud guy in 27. I don't know, Arch Manning or whoever it would be. Well, you can just trade up for him. Nope, Mariota having trouble here. Now throws it. Oof. Like I said, not perfect. But I think in the right situation, I think you could actually win with Mariota. I mean, he runs better than you think. His passing is pretty good. If you put him in the right situation. This was not a good rep. I don't know what he's trying to do here. basically just throwing it away. But the Benny Hill. No, we had Benny Hill over here, Phil. We had Benny Hill, so you may not know this, but Benny Hill was on PBS for us in New York. PBS. Oh, that's a terrible drop by Debo. Debo Samuel just stinks. Stinks. A little high, though. But Benny Hill was on PBS in New York at certain times of night. Like, I think it would come on like 10, 11 at night or something like that. So we got Benny Hill over here. It was on our public broadcasting system station in New York. Was Channel 13 back in the day. Those remember Channel 13? Oh yeah, we know about Monty Python. Jojo says Aller or Klubnik. Yeah, Klubnik. Ugh, I hate Cade Klubnik. Once you start getting into the muck of these fourth or these other guys, it's really disgusting. They're just so bad. And obviously they are. Otherwise they would have gone, higher up in the draft. But there's a sack. So Mariota not exactly lighting it up. But like I said, he's not, he's not elite. He's just like okay. Yeah, I'm not a big Klubnik guy. These guys who can't play football, I don't want them. The reason you would take Aller is he can't play football, but at least he's tall and has a big arm. He's something to work on. So, Phil says, I'm currently on the build up the roster and quarterback in 27. We might have to. I mean, it might be that we don't have any choice. And another field goal attempt, and that is no good. He missed it. 51-yarder. He missed it. I mean, we might have no choice. I mean, if there's only one guy that we want in the first round and we can't get up to where we can get him and somebody else is going to obviously take him, then we're going to have no choice but to build up the roster and figure it out. That's why I like the optionality of signing a guy like Mariota, because at least you have something a little better than Fields. I mean, it's not great, but who else are you going to get? It's hard to imagine. Didn't Mariota quit on the Falcons? No. He got injured, and Artie Smith handled it very poorly. He was actually injured. Arthur Smith was like, I don't know what happened with Mariota. Well, he got injured. You knew that, Coach. That was 100% on Arthur Smith. Got to have that. So Doge is here. Quick processing and recognition. Yeah. Well, the guy who has that coming out now is Mendoza. But the problem is we don't know where we're getting now. Like, for example, if we wind up with the first overall pick and we love Mendoza, let's say we do. I'm not saying we do, but let's say we do. Then we just take him and we do that. But let's say we're fourth and one of the top three want Mendoza and we know they're going to take him and they're not trading out. We can't trade past, we can't jump them. Well, then what? We gotta have alternate plans, and that's where having a couple of veterans. Fields is going to be here. That's veteran one. And then we just need one more, whether it's Mariota or maybe it's Brissett. I haven't looked into Brissett's contract. I don't know if he has a 2-year contract with the Cardinals. Like a guy like Jacoby Brissett would be all right. One of these veterans. They're not going to be perfect. There's a reason why they're, career backups. But if you can't get the guy in the draft, that's your only option. I mean, there's no other way to do it. When does C.J. Carr come out? Well, C.J. Carr is a natural freshman, I believe, which means you got 2 years after this, so 2028, buddy. So C.J. Carr, and you shouldn't be saying C.J. Carr, you should be saying Julian Sayin, because the best of the bunch in college football right now is named Julian Sayin. He is probably the top of the top, but he's a true freshman. So he's not coming out this year. He's not coming out next year. It's the year after that. And I believe that CJ Carr falls into the same category. Carr is sort of up there with Sayan, but seems like Sayan's a little better. But CJ Carr is also a very good prospect. But I believe he's also a true freshman, CJ Carr, if I'm not mistaken. So that means not this year, not next year, the year after is the first time they could come out. So we can't wait that long. I mean, let's be let's be honest. And uh, so that's the thing. And if you know, I mean, it's got to be the latest is 27. We geared up all these picks for 27. So the regime is saying it's going to be either this year or next year. That's when we're going for it. But man, next year could be another long year. But then again, if we stack up the defense and we have a good, I mean, part of the problem with this year is that this year is boring because the defense is so bad. I mean, how boring is it as a product, as an entertainment product, when your defense just sucks? I mean, it's so boring. Oh, they're going to convert a third down. Oh, they're going to go for it on fourth down and convert against us. Oh, again, it's just the same shit over and over and over again. Oh, there's a sack of Tua. Tua, oh man, we need Tua to play well. What are you doing, Tango Vaialoaeo? What are you doing, man? He didn't see the blitz. He didn't see the coverage. Good blitz by Danny Quinn. Good job, DQ. Sakalaka. Well, so yeah, some of these kids are very young, and some of the best ones are too young, and they could all go back. Everybody can go back for a million years of eligibility these days, and NIL deal where they make millions and millions. So it's not like the old days. Damn, Mendoza is good. Yeah, Mendoza is good. He's pretty good. Played really good yesterday. I don't know how you could play better. Now, Wisconsin's not the greatest competition level, but still not terrible. Joe Mike, Woody seems like an owner who wants a sacrificial lamb when seasons go bad, like when LaFleur is let go. Do you think there's a good chance that Wilkes will be that guy? I don't think it'll be Woody giving a crap about that. Woody, if you've seen what's going on with Woody, he loves Aaron Glenn. So it's really going to be up to Aaron Glenn. And Woody, we came up with last week the Woody cycle. Joe, I don't know if you remember me talking about the Woody cycle, but Woody has a cycle. And the place where we are in the Woody cycle now is this is the rebuild part of the cycle when Woody is hands off. So if there's going to be a quote unquote, I don't think there's going to be a sacrificial lamb. I don't think the expectations from Woody were high for this year. And he trusts Aaron Glenn. So if somebody gets fired, it's going to be because Aaron Glenn wants them fired. Aaron Glenn has a lot of power in this organization, probably more power than Mooj, although they work as a team and all of that, and the work that the front office does is very important. Ultimately, Aaron Glenn has the power right now with this crew here. And so if somebody gets fired like Wilkes, it won't be because of Woody, in my opinion. I could be proven wrong. But my theory is when we're in rebuild mode, which happens quite often, of course, Woody's hands off. And he just says, all right, guys, build it up. And then when it gets up to a point where he expects to win, then and if we don't start winning, then he starts freaking out. What do I do? What do I do? He starts leaning on the money people. He starts talking, getting advice from the wrong people and doing a bunch of crazy shit. Like fire Saul after 5 games and all this, not bench Tony Adams and all this nonsense. So the short answer is no, but the longer answer is, yeah, Wilkes could get fired. But if he does get fired, then that will be Aaron Glenn deciding that Wilkes' performance was not good enough and he needs to get somebody else in there. It's really going to be up to Aaron Glenn. And if I had to handicap it, I'd say Wilkes probably gets another year. Load up the personnel the way they want it, sort of like a second helping, We load up the personnel, especially if we don't take a quarterback in round 1 and we just load up. Like if we get Arvell Reese, I don't know if you guys understand how good Arvell Reese is. know if you how much you're following these dudes in college, and I haven't been following Ohio State a lot because as good as Julian saying is, I already know he's elite and he's not coming out, so I haven't been following them closely. But I mean, once the playoff starts, maybe more people will understand how amazing. I mean, the whole defense on Ohio State has been. They have first round dudes all over the place. Uh, but if we get a guy like that, and plus a defensive interior player that Ohio State has, and plus a couple of edge players, I mean, that's the type of personnel that you need to run any defense. You can't be running Brady McGregor out there and Michael Clemens and all these people that suck and no safeties. Now maybe Malachi Moore might be one. Maybe we got one safety. Okay, maybe we do. But uh, we need another one badly. I mean, we could go and get Caleb Downs. The interesting thing about Caleb Downs, that's another incredible player that Ohio State has. But he's a safety. How high is he going to go just based on people don't value safeties? I think safeties are very valuable. I don't know, man. They do so much for you. And we've seen with the Jets, when you don't have safeties, you're pretty screwed. So we'll see. The Jets are sending, Alan Dode says, high level scouts. Yeah, they're going to a lot of the games, and just because things aren't reported doesn't mean they're not happening. Jet 41 says, I think Mendoza and Simpson. Well, Mendoza, Simpson, and Moore. So Dante Moore is very, very talented. He's also very young. So Dante Moore is an interesting case because he's 20 years old. He can go back to Oregon and make tons of money, and he probably should. But he might look at it and go, you know what? I'm a top 5 pick. I want to go now. And so he's now another thing. McDaniels is furious. Furious. He's saying that's uncatchable. That's uncatchable. I don't think that maybe it does still matter in the rules about uncatchable, but you never hear the refs talking about the ball is uncatchable anymore. Used to be back in the day they would. Uh, but I think if you call defensive holding, it doesn't matter if the pass is uncatchable or not. But I don't know. I'd have to take a look at the rule book. But anyways, Dante Moore might say, you know what? Yeah, I should probably go back, but I could be a top 3 pick or whatever. And then if I go back in 27, there's going to be way more dudes that I have to compete with to get up in the draft. So that would be the third one, Jet 41. There's really 3. There's really 3. The guy who played yesterday is Gunnar Stockton, but I think he's going back also. Gojo says, so what we were saying is get. Well, I mean, it'll be. The thing is, if we neglect the QB, then we load up with all these studs on defense and everywhere else. Can you win games with a Mariota or a Brissett or one of these dudes with a stocked roster? Yeah, that'll be the question. Oof. Mariota is proving maybe not. I mean, you see the limitations, right? It's like he makes some good plays, he does some good things, just inconsistent, like all the backup types. Joe Mike says, by the end of college season, I think Ty Simpson will leapfrog Mendoza. Just a question whether he stays or comes. Well, we don't know. We got to watch the games. So if you watched the games yesterday, Mendoza got an A. Simpson did not. Simpson said Ty Simpson did not play well. But Ty Simpson played a higher level of competition. So we'll see how the rest of the season works out. That's why we watch the games, of course. We don't project based on our minds. Another terrible year of plays. I don't think I can watch them. More than likely, they will win. They more than likely will win more games next year. I don't know. It depends what the roster looks like. Could any DC do anything? Yeah, we could have done better, actually. But one of the things Wilkes seems to be is pretty vanilla, and that's been a disappointing thing. It's been a vanilla defense with kind of meh personnel. I mean, it does have some talent, but we're not disguising. We're not, not doing anything particularly creative. That's part of the problem. Competing with way fewer dudes would be the way to go. Yeah, if you think you're ready. I mean, Dante Moore put up a hell of a game yesterday, but against low competition. But, you know, if his draft stock, if he keeps doing that, let's see where they end up. We don't want to, I mean, it really depends. It depends, and it depends a lot because guys like Dante Moore and Ty Simpson don't have a lot of starts under their belt. So every game they do play, these scouts are going to look at it heavily. Mendoza has a lot of starts under his belt relative to them. And so it's probably more solidified what he is. You know what I mean? Whereas Dante Moore and Ty Simpson, every game they play could change an evaluation simply because they don't have the resume that some of these other guys have in terms of games started. Like yesterday, Ty Simpson was disappointing with his pocket presence, and that wasn't something I saw much in the other games I was watching with him. And so was that just something because it was something that Oklahoma was doing with their great defense? Or is this an actual problem for Mr. Simpson? I don't know. We don't know. But if it's the latter, that hurts you. If it's the former, it doesn't really. So, oh yeah, this is something I wanted to mention. Thank you for bringing this up, Jet 41. Todd McShithead says Moore is a lock to go back. So if he comes out, more evidence that Todd McShithead is an actual shithead. A pumped up McDaniels is like an angry Buddhist. Yeah, he was furious on that one. He was saying that was uncatchable. PC says, I spent a lot of time in Thailand. Very angry Buddhists can be very dangerous. Yeah, they probably have it all pent up, right, PC? Well, so far this Spain game has been very boring. It's a couple of field goal game here. And so I don't think the NFL is really too thrilled with the level of play that we're witnessing in España. First game ever in España. The rain in Spain falls mainly on the plain. Jojo says, I just think we had an exceptional defense 2023. Couldn't win anything with no quarterback, so that might be the plan in 2026. I hope not. Well, what you have to hope is that the quarterback is better than Zach Wilson. That's what you got to hope. Can Mariota play better than Zachary or Brissett or whoever it is that we get? Just using Mariota as an example. Bridge quarterback du jour. What if we got Kirko Cousins? That could work maybe for 1 year. It's going to be a very interesting offseason, but a lot of it just depends how these college kids play the rest of the year and then who comes out, obviously. So there's 154 remaining in the first half. It's 6-3. Miami Dolphins, exciting, exciting game. One thing you do notice, too, is that when you don't have good quarterback play, the quality of the entertainment item goes down a lot. It's just boring to watch bad quarterbacks, if not downright frustrating. So you really don't, and that's why one of the many, many reasons they make all that money is because we watch some of these stumble bums running around here. It's like, man, can we get some good football going? And here's Mariota showing his wheels, slides short of the first down. So Joe Mike says, is that a Clint Eastwood fistful of dollars movie? No, it is not. That would be Arthur Morgan, one of the greatest fictional characters ever created. Red Dead Redemption 2. There you go. Absolutely. Well, you got all that pent up emotion that you never let out, in small doses. Then when it comes all out, it's going to be an explosion. Explosion. They be having a siesta. Siesta in España. Nobody will care. Well, the NFL cares. I mean, they're trying to build up their fan base over there, obviously, and the first game ever in España. And you'd think you'd want it to be a little bit more entertaining than what we've seen here. Guys can't pass the ball. Guys look like they don't know what they're doing. You got one dolphin head in the stands singing the song, wearing a dolphin head hat, And now you got 3rd down and 1. Mariota in the shotgun for the commies, and they're in field goal range again. They already missed one field goal. They hand it off to Mr. Bill, and he's able to get the first down. But if you're a Dolphin fan, you could say, well, our defense is playing pretty good. Kenneth Grant made one play I saw, so that's good for him. He hasn't been doing much this year at all. Talk about a first-round pick that hasn't worked out. Mr. Grant, we need you to step up your play, senor. You're supposed to be good. Out of Michigan. Hello, McFly. Joe Mike said, I would poach Kyle McCord from the Eagles practice squad. Why? He stinks. We already have a guy on a practice squad who stinks, Brady Cook. What do we need another one for? Harlan says, every other quarterback seemed to play better with the jet offense than Wilson did. Yeah, that's a very good point, Harlan. Which goes to show you, if we had just okay quarterback play, we probably could have made the playoffs with those teams. The defenses were good enough. We had Bryce Huff as the 3rd down closer specialist at a low cost that we found out of nowhere, which is miraculous. It's hard to find those guys. And we had it. We had JFM. We had the whole world in our hands, and we just couldn't get average quarterback play. Then again, all these teams who stink, they can't get it either. Yeah. Karate says, let's go Dolphins. Yeah, they haven't looked great. Tua hasn't looked particularly good either, which is bad. You want the Dolphins to want Tua to stay here and not draft a quarterback. We want as few quarterback-needy teams as possible. Mariota back to pass looking can't find. Oh, boy. This is not looking good. He throws one up. Oh, boy. 17 seconds remain. Well, at least he didn't take a sack. 3rd down and 8. They'll run one more play and then kick it probably. Phil Adams, you watching a game later? Probably not. I mean, I'll keep an eye on, but I got things to do, Phil. I got projects that need to get done that have been neglected, and no Jet game. And I looked at the schedule, the schedule of games. I was like, none of these really. What game am I going to watch? What's the game you're watching, Phil? Put in the chat the game you're looking forward to today, if any. Throw to Samuel, and he doesn't get the first down. Why are we throwing a pass? Well, I guess to just get a little closer for a field goal, but there is a flag on the play. Flag on the play. Put in the chat if you're looking forward to any games today. What game are you looking forward to? And I think this is a problem for the NFL. Michael Peenish seems like he's not good, and therefore the Falcons aren't going to be good, as an example. And then you have these young quarterbacks. Bo Nix stinks. It's on the. If 2 penalties on the Commanders, this is not good. Dan Quinn. Back him up. You better kick your field goal. Pass interference on Debo. Man, Debo stinks. He stinks. He's fat and he stinks. He's stinky. I'm not sure about. Well, he did push off, so Defensive back said, "He pushing me, man. He pushing me, man. He pushing me." 3rd and 18. 12 seconds remaining. Now they just got to throw a quick out. They do have a timeout, so no problem there. They could throw it over the middle if they want. Now they throw a screen to Samuel. He better get down. Yeah, okay. Now call timeout. So now they'll get a chip shot field goal, and they'll go to the half 6-6. First game in Spain, and it's 6-6 at the half. I mean, come on. England and Albania. So Phil says, "What about the footy? What about the footy, governor?" Yeah, we got that, love. Seahawks and Rams. Oh no, McCord was good at Syracuse. This isn't Syracuse, Joe. Syracuse. The man went from Ohio State to Syracuse. A little different competition level. A little different when you're playing the Little Sisters of the Poor. All right, now we're getting a field goal. Boom. Okay. 6-6. Holy smokes. Yeah, I've already addressed this. He was good at Syracuse. Everybody knows that. Syracuse isn't the NFL. Wake up. Smell the coffee. All right, so I guess that's about it. 10:51. We'll call it a day. Thanks for joining, everybody. Hit the like button, etc., etc. See you all.